Hello, listeners. Welcome to this episode of the Naked Coach Collective podcast. I'm Darshana. I'm actually going solo again today, and this time it's to talk about grief, loss, healing. It's a very personal episode this time, and just to let you know, I will be talking about death. I will be talking about the emotions and the pain that surround that, and maybe I'll touch some raw points with people if you're going through the same thing at the moment. So my father passed away about 3 weeks ago. In fact, tomorrow will be 3 weeks, and it's been a time. It's been a time. And the reason I'm here today talking to you about it is because I feel as though I've helped myself getting through this time with some activities and some coaching points even that I feel may be of service to somebody out there too. And also, I think it's going to, I've made notes, of course I have, but I feel like it's going to be a bit of therapy, a bit of self-therapy. And welcome aboard, welcome along. So my dear father, bless him, had suffered a stroke, and right up until the day that he passed, there was hope that he would come home. And on the day he was speaking with doctors, we just realized that this was not going to happen. And I feel so blessed, so very blessed that I was with him, holding his hand as he crossed from our world as we know it onto his next adventure, which is how I like to put it. So a whole heap of emotions came at that point, and any of you who have ever suffered a loss, you will know this, that there is no linear way to experience grief. We just go with it and experience as things come along. Now, I'm not prone to emotion. my family, I'm the hard one, if you like, and I am very likely to not be emotional at times, or perhaps you think that you should be. But the thing is, death of a loved one, and someone so dear to me, who I looked up to every day and took my cues from on so many things, made me realize that actually I should just be feeling what I feel. So I started to do a few things which I think might help anybody if you're feeling a loss right now, if you've suffered a loss and you're kind of feeling overwhelmed, which is the big thing that I started with. I just felt so totally overwhelmed with everything from getting a grip on my own feelings, to supporting my family and my siblings, to thinking about what practical things needed to be dealt with, being there to support my mother, and so many other things just came crashing down on me. And on top of that, you've got the pain of the loss, the pain of knowing that somebody that you spoke to regularly, but spent time with, enjoyed the company of, loved from the bottom of your heart, is no longer going to be able to reciprocate those things. It is quite overwhelming. I mean, I was overwhelmed. I was actually overwhelmed, and being being in that situation meant that I didn't quite know what to do for the best, because brand new situation for me. I've never experienced this before with somebody so close to me. So I implemented a couple of things. first of all was just to be still. And I am a jumpy, fidgety, move around, always doing something, busy person. So I made time to just sit and just to be still. I wouldn't necessarily call it meditation because, well, yes, actually I would call it meditation. Even just meditation, even just sitting and being still is meditation. Of course it is, but it's not how perhaps it's not the meditation that you're used to. I didn't know what to think, so I didn't think. So I would take myself to somewhere quiet and just for a few minutes, not even for very long, just sit and feel something, nothing, overwhelm, too much, everything. But I feel like it helped me to start to put some order into the overwhelm that was coming to me. So I would definitely say, even if you're not used to doing that, just find some time to sit, be silent. And silence is amazing at a time like this. Don't force yourself to feel. Don't force yourself, oh, I should feel like this, or I should be more emotional. I should be less emotional. I should be more practical. I should be doing all the things that I should be doing. Forget that. Understand that silence is a healer in a situation like this. Well, it was for me. And this is a personal story. This is by no means any kind of therapy for anyone out there. This is me sharing my story, feeling the loss of dad. And you you know, I guess I'm using this platform as an outlet for my grief. And I'm grateful to you. If you're still listening, I'm grateful to you. And this sharing this story with you. So uh, I'm come from an Indian background. There is a lot of ritual around death. There's a lot of ceremony, and I didn't really know any of what that would entail. I had to look at the elders in my family to support with that and to teach. But one thing I will say is whatever cultural background, religious background you're from, you know, I do think that the ceremony and the rituals around death and around letting the spirit and the soul move on to wherever they're going, and whatever you believe, it could be something, it could be nothing, whatever you believe, the certainty is that this person is no longer here in body, and that the soul and the spirit will go wherever you believe that soul and spirit will go. And for me, the rituals around making sure that dad's soul and spirit went with peace and joy and love meant so much. And it was a very healing process. To I didn't understand, I didn't understand quite a lot of the rituals that I was performing for dad and for his soul, but I knew it brought me comfort. Even at that point, it did bring me comfort. And another thing is having family around. I didn't work for a couple of weeks, and I went to stay with my mum and with my siblings, and we were all together, and it was a very, very bonding experience. I had aunties come from far and wide, and cousins, and I feel very blessed to have had that experience, because there's definitely comfort in sharing pain. And this is what we did. But we also, dad was 87. He had such an amazing life. And so this was a time for celebration. And there were lots of moments where, because there were people gathered together for a single purpose, and this is to remember my dad. We told stories, and we even laughed. There was laughter in the home, and it was all geared towards remembering with joy the love that we all shared for our dad. And if you can find people who feel love for the person that you've lost as well, and share stories, this was such an emotional comfort and growth for me, because as soon as the news came out, we got phone calls from people who dad knew, that I hadn't met for years and years, that I may never have even met. And he everybody was telling a story. And I really like that. And I think there's a point here to be made for, if you're supporting someone who has lost someone close, it's sometimes you think, oh my God, what do I say to them? Oh, I won't ring them today because I don't know what to say to them. They'll be suffering, they'll be in grief, and I'll be an extra on the side. But my experience was that I loved people phoning and saying, oh, I remember when your dad did this, or I remember a time when he made me feel a certain way. And those sorts of memories were other people's memories, but absolutely a comfort and a joy to me and my family. So I would definitely say, talk to them. The people who are grieving a serious, deep loss I can't speak for everybody, obviously I don't, but will likely want to speak about their loved one. And if you can be that person for them, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So I also started doing a little bit of focused writing. It's kind of journaling. It was just writing down my notes, my thoughts as and when I felt them. And sometimes they were in the middle of the night, sometimes they were in the shower, so whatever. But I would just, as soon as I remember something, I'd write down a feeling, a little memory of dad, or something that I felt. And I wrote something, actually I'll share with you in my journal. And because obviously, even with everything else that's going on, it is an intensely sad time. And I found a way of getting some gratitude in that sadness. And I wrote this here. I've written, sadness is inevitable if you love. Sadness is inevitable if you love. So there's an acceptance there. There's a gratitude there for, I loved, and now I'm sad. But would I give up that sadness for not having loved? Never, never in a million years. Right, as my notes are here. So there's something also quite interesting came out of this. And as I said before, I've been very fortunate to get to this age and not lose someone so close to me. What I realized is that my relationship with my dad is still evolving. This may resonate with you if you've had a loss like this. And I don't know how I would have ever described it before living it. Dad is still teaching me things now. Even more, even though when he was alive and he loved to talk about so many things, I now can hear his voice on certain issues, and he had a gentleness about him which comes through in everything now for me as well. So I feel if I'm doing something, I've learned his gentle way, and I think that's going to influence me even more as the time goes on. So I'm still learning from him. I never really thought that I would be the kind of person to say, oh, well, dad would say this or dad would think this. And I think you can only really say those things when you are so close to someone that passes. And I do genuinely, hand on heart, I have said that. I have thought that. and it's been it's been true. I could almost see him saying, well, actually, hey, try this, or have you thought about feeling this way? Or the gentleness of his character is definitely coming through in me now. I see it, and I'm grateful. I'm very grateful. Right, so we've talked about a few things that I've done, the being still, and also I've just looked at my notes. Adding to being still, being present. Feel what you feel. I'm not a crier. I'm not really. I can take my emotions and take them with me until I'm in a private space. I can do that, but it was very, very comforting to be around people, and I accepted that I was going to feel things. Excuse me. So I felt things. I let myself feel. Allow yourself to feel. Allow yourself to be present. Right now I'm feeling this pain because I've had this memory, and it's okay. Oh, it's okay. It's okay to feel it. So just to finish, to reiterate, I think grief is definitely a personal story, a personal journey. No two people will grieve in the same way. No grieving is correct or incorrect. Feel what you feel. Allow yourself to feel what you feel. Remembering that it will not always feel so deep and so intense. I'm at that stage now, 3 weeks on, where I feel I can accept that it's not always going to feel this sad and this heavy. I feel like I will be able to remember Dad with love, with joy, with a smile, without sadness going forward. And remember, for yourself, you owe it to yourself. This comes from another podcast, actually, and a friend of mine, a dear friend who is also suffering from grief, sent to me to help me. And in there it said, let me get it right. Okay, so this time is going to pass. You owe it to yourself to continue to live, and you owe it to yourself to be honest about your feelings, and how you behave is down to you. I'm ad-libbing, but how you behave is down to you. You don't have to be really overcome and grief-stricken to show that you care or love that person. And that was a very interesting point, actually. That point of, you can, like I told you earlier, my family and I were sharing stories about Dad, and it was a joyful thing, and there was laughter. You don't have to worry or stress about that. If you're feeling like a story about them is making you smile, do it. Your suffering is not a link to, or it's not a indication of how much you love them. That's it. That's what they said in that. Right. Okay. So yes, your suffering is your own personal thing. How much you love them is your own personal thing, but you do not have to suffer to the extent of what you think you love them, of your love for them, for that person. So be yourself, be still, be silent, be present. Take note of your feelings. Put things into an order so that the overwhelm of what you're going through does not take over. Be around people who loved that person too, who love them too. Give yourself all the time you need, but remember that this intensity of feeling will develop, ease, change, become your new way of living. Allow that to happen. Allow that to happen, and keep their memory alive through your through your life, through your love, through your doing the best that you can do in your life. Right. And I'm going to end with gratitude to you for listening. I really hope that some of you may have found some comfort or some peace in anything that I might have said. I'm really grateful for this. I'm really grateful for being my father's daughter. This is for him. And I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you for listening.